What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Angie's World podcast. I am your host, Angie, aka Angie's World, and I have two lovely guests with me. You probably recognize one. I'm going to let you introduce yourself. Coach.
Hey. Oh, hey, what's up, Coach Anthony? I'm back again. I'm just a squirrel in Angie's world.
Whatever. Introduce this lovely lady that's right next to you, sir.
Well, my name is Coach Anthony, and my lovely wife, Coachelulu.
Hey, everybody.
And yeah, so this is my baby right here.
Yes, this is, y'all remember Coach Anthony. I had him on my podcast. Y'all said y'all love the podcast. I have some clips up online. You could go back to my page and check out the interview. And we said during the interview that we were going to bring his lovely wife the next time. So I'm so glad that Coach Lulu is joining us today. So now we have the set of relationship coaches here. And I got some questions I'm going to be asking y'all. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, me. I'm like us. Like, this is a nationally syndicated whole production show.
No, it's you and your audience. It's you and your audience. We get it.
Yes. Thank you, Coach Lulu, for joining us. And thank you so much, Coach Anthony, for coming back. Before we get into, what they do, the type of services, that they offer, and get into all the good stuff and all the good content, I wanted to start off getting to know you a little bit, Coach Lulu. So where are you from?
So now I'm in Georgia with my husband, but I moved here from Vancouver, BC, Canada.
Oh, Canada.
Yeah. So now I'm enjoying the American life, but that's where I was before moving out here.
Okay. How is it different from out here in Canada? I just know Drake is out in Canada and Niagara Falls and some stuff like that. How is life different in Canada than here?
I think there's a couple different things. I thought it was going to be the exact same because everybody just assumes Canada and US are pretty similar, but right. I feel like there's some differences culturally, but I think it was more so, I wouldn't say it's a Canada American thing. I think it was like Pacific Northwest versus the South.
Okay.
So, and then like I was in a bigger city and then now I'm in a smaller city. So I think it's like those type things like city to rural life.
Yes.
Slower pace.
Yes.
Southern
hospitality.
Yeah, hospitality. But yeah, it's just like, I think it's just a city thing where everybody's kind of their business. But then in the South, I had to get used to like stopping for conversation.
That's so true.
Every like other person.
That's so true. So the city that you lived in Canada, was it sort of like any other big city like London, New York, LA, like that, where it's like, transit everywhere, people, it was busy. Okay, so she's like a big city girl. So that's very different culturally because, I don't know if y'all call men Georgia Peach, but, you from Georgia.
No. No,
Southern gentleman?
Yeah, Southern gentleman. That's
a Southern gentleman. I said a Georgia Peach. I'm on the floor. Maybe not a Georgia Peach. Maybe a Georgia shot of whiskey or something. I don't know.
Something like that.
Right. So yeah, that's definitely like a big. I was telling Coach Anthony when I went to Atlanta a long time ago. I was like, wow, they don't have sidewalks. Okay. I was like, they wear slides with socks. I was like, okay. The men were really nice. And I discovered boiled peanuts at every gas station. We don't have that here in the Bronx. It's like big barrels of boiled peanuts.
Nobody should ever have boiled peanuts.
I like boiled peanuts. I discovered them. I actually do.
Man.
That was one of the discoveries in Atlanta that I was like, wait, I like this. I was like, we don't have that in New York. We got to get like the prepackaged ones, not the fresh ones that they have in the South. But there's a lot of good aspects of living in the South. But that's cool. So how long have you been out here?
I moved here in 2015.
Okay. So you've been out here a little minute to get adjusted. Oh, yeah. Do you still go back to Canada to visit and stuff? Do you still have family there?
Yeah, every once in a while. I think that was more so the biggest adjustment is majority of my family are back in Vancouver. So
yeah.
And we're a pretty big family. So going from that to well, it's just us, which is great too. But I just used to like family dinners every week and stuff like that. All the holidays or get-togethers.
But what's super dope though, that you guys have places to visit now. Like you could always go back and have like a change of pace when you miss like, being out there. And it's kind of like the world is really big, and although it probably hurts when you're like growing up around your family to like move to a different city, but it's kind of cool to like live, well, for me anyway, you know what I mean, to like live other places and see how the culture is and just see like where you want to be, because y'all never know, you might end up back in Canada. Y'all got a whole life to live, you know what I'm saying? Like you're still young. That's cool. All right, so you guys have a lot of stuff going on. For those of you guys that don't know, Coach R. Anthony is a relationship coach. His wife, Coachelulu, is a relationship coach as well. And they together counsel couples. And you guys do individual counseling too, if they request it. Like if someone wanted to just speak to you, like a woman wants to just talk to Coach Lulu and maybe a man wants to talk to you. Do you guys do individual as well?
Yeah, we do. But we mainly do dating. Like we because our thing is we want to, because most of the time we have to go into a relationship and break it apart. Like we have to get it back in order. And it's easier to work with somebody who's single and like show them the process of getting here. It's a lot more seamless, right? Yeah. So that's like ideally like the main thing. We would like to work with someone and like most of our clients started off single, and now they're transitioning into marriage. So they're going through the engagement phase.
I love that. So you want to start with them from the very beginning and groom them and like guide them into their relationship,
right?
As opposed to stepping in when their relationship is already a mess, and then you guys have to like sort everything out.
Work, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot more work to do with couples than we do with people that actually understand our system. They go out there, they use it, they find somebody. And then actually it ends up being that the person they find wants to work with us even more than they do. It's the most.
I love that.
It's
That's super dope. Before I get into all the questions, like, because I have so many questions about like your process and everything, I want to get into some of the fun things that you guys are currently doing now that you were telling me about. Can you guys tell me about the relationship challenge that you guys are doing? Is that still going on?
Well, that the Stay or Walk Away challenge.
Yes.
Yeah. So what it is it's a 7-day process that we take someone through to decide whether or not their relationship is worth staying in. Right. So, but we want to make sure we give all the tools that we have available. So every day you go through a process, you do an assessment, and you see if those tools work for you. And then at the end of those 7 days, based on what you've gathered throughout the week, then you have the information that you need to make a decision on whether or not the relationship should work out or continue that relationship. So
that must have taken a lot of work to put something like that together. How did you guys come up with, the blueprint for that, like the master class for that? And where can people find that?
So it didn't take that long, actually. I think I think that's why we realized like, okay, people need this, because the way we explained it or how we go about making decisions, it's a very simplified process. So we wanted to help people just kind of get rid of all the clutter and obligation type things and all of that out of the way, and just really focus on what's there to make a decision. And one of the big things that we kind of touch on just a little bit is, understanding ultimately what you want. And we take you through like how to establish that and then measure if the relationship is there or not. But I mean, once that clarity is there, the choice really becomes quite straightforward and clear. And it's more so coaching, like how to like stick with the decision and how to make better decisions moving forward as well. Or if you do want to stay, how to work on the relationship so it becomes healthier and it's actually more stable and so on and so forth. And that can be found on our site at datelikeawife.com.
Let me put that up there.
Yeah, so that one is currently ongoing. We started that one last month. And we're excited. In a couple weeks, we're going to be for our actively dating singles. We've been asked a lot to help with the online dating or just even in-person dating process of how to vet and how, like, profile pictures, like all of that stuff.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So now we're putting out our Dating with Purpose challenge, and that's going to start in a couple of weeks. And that's also that will be launching soon on datelikeawife.com. But if you want to be notified when that starts, just join the newsletter, and then we always let our people know first before we launch it out, so you can get first access that way.
That is awesome. Make sure y'all bookmark Date Like a Wife on your phones. I'm also going to put the description of their Instagrams. Your Instagrams also have the website, I'm assuming, on your Instagrams, right? Yeah, I'm going to put their Instagrams in the description. I'm going to put Date Like a Wife in their description so you can tap into that challenge. Or if you're thinking about, staying or going in a relationship, you can do this exercise that Coach R. Anthony and his wife, Coach Lulu, put together. And by the time this podcast is finished, you know what I'm saying? I think that you guys are really going to want to tap into, what it is that they're doing, because they're really out here changing lives, and they really want to help people. And that's what it's really about. It's about being, getting something right. Like you guys, meeting, falling in love, getting your relationship right, and just helping the rest of the world do the same thing. So that's super dope. And I respect you guys so much for doing that. Coach R. Anthony, I got a chance to speak to him in depth, right? And he's so smart. And I told him, I think, and I know you're his other half, so you're probably just as in tune.
She way better. Like, this woman is. You hear?
She's well, yeah, but like to get into, because I was listen, I wound up telling Coach R. Anthony my problem. My relationship problems, and he helped me figure out why certain things were the way they were. So when I tell you guys, this is not even a sales pitch. Like, I've had a one-on-one with Coach R. Anthony. Like, I've been around him for a long time, almost 2 years in Clubhouse, and listened to him speak. And they also have a podcast where we're going to get into. But if you guys really, really, really want to work on your relationship, and, even if you just started dating someone and you want to do things right, contact them. They will definitely help you get your stuff together, because a lot of us are just out here dating. We don't know what's going on. We're making the wrong decisions. We're vetting people wrong. We don't know what we want. Yeah. We got problems.
It's crazy.
What does that say? The hat says make relationships great again. Yes. Mm-hmm. And let me see your shirt, Coach. Mr. and Mrs. Coach taught me. I like that. Could they get the merch and all that stuff on the website?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's on Date Like a Wife as well.
Yes, y'all better make sure y'all hit up datelikeawife.com. That's what's up. I love that. All right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'll say, and we'll be dropping the husband stuff, because we have Date Like a Husband as well. It's coming up soon. So,
oh, okay.
For the men that are like, like ready to actually have a relationship, like not just to be out here just kind of doing whatever, or just like the casual thing. So for the men, it's like men that are serious about finding a good wife, like a good woman that they can build a life with. So that's Date Like a Husband. That's going to be dropping sometime in the fall. So
I'll put that in the description as well. I think every guy, I'm not going to say every guy, but any guy that I'm thinking of dating with seriously, I'm going to send him I'm going to be like, look, this is Coach's business card. Talk to him first. And I want to see, because he'll tell you if you're ready to be a husband or not, and he'll let me know.
Yeah, that would be that. I mean, I think a lot, believe it or not, I think the men are more hungry for this type of information more so than the women are.
Yeah.
Because it just kind of gets repetitive after a while that you've been dating. You kind of run into the same thing. But like I tell men, it's not really the women, right? It's the way we've been taught to think. And once you change that, it's like it's easy to get the right woman, and it's easy to position her as the thing, and she's beneficial, right? She'll benefit your life in so many different ways. So a lot of guys, we've been conditioned to just think of a woman as this way. And
right.
The crazy part is women have been conditioned to think of themselves in certain ways as well. So it kind of matches and goes together, but the relationships don't necessarily last, or they're not as fulfilling.
Right.
But what the difference between how we've decided to do it is we've decided to elevate the relationship above ourselves.
Right.
So that's the most important thing. It's not, okay, you do this and that. Like, no, we want a successful relationship. So it requires both of us to submit equally to the idea to accomplish the thing that we want to accomplish. It's like a championship team.
That's what I was going to say, a team.
Yeah, it's a championship team though. It like, forget just being a team.
Right.
We want to win the championship.
Yes, high five.
High five.
Yes. I love that.
So like that's the goal of any team, I would imagine, that assembles themselves, is to win it all, right? So of course you're going to want to win it all. You're going to have to choose the right teammates in order to have the right performance and actually go through the process of winning it all. So we submit to the winning of it all.
Yes.
And that's the success of the relationship.
Yeah, and I think it also works because it's not, like Coach said, there's not anything selfish in here. It's you guys are doing this for the greater cause of the relationship of the team. Mm-hmm. It's not you for yourself and your wife for herself. It's us working together for the greater good of the relationship to bring us together as one to the next level. Any couple that I've ever asked, that has been together for a long time, 40 years, 50 years, you think about it, you're like, how many times we change and as a person, and we outgrow ourselves, and we go into, like, we're changing as people constantly. And I would ask them, like, how do you stay together after all these decades, after all these people you become? Because you're a different person every few years. And they said, it's always the same common answer with every couple. They always say, like, we work together well as a team. Like we never forgot we were on the same team. Like we work together as like a team. And that's really what it is, I think. And I'm not, we'll get into me asking you guys questions about a little bit more deep, but I'm not a relationship coach, but I can see that the relationship, if you guys don't work well together, it's not going to work out. Like if you can't achieve goals together as a couple, or get along, or sacrifice, or just, kind of put the relationship first, that it's not going to work out. So I love that you guys said that. So Coach Lulu, let me ask you a question. How did you meet Coach R. Anthony?
We actually met, or my interaction with him was on Facebook.
Okay.
So he sent me a friend request. And then I pondered for a couple days, and I was like, okay. So I just accepted and said thanks.
Shame on you.
Thanks for the friend request.
You didn't think nothing of it. You were just like, okay, this guy is sending me a friend request. He's kind of cute. All right. Okay.
Yeah. And then I was in like a mode where, like, about a month prior to, I was really set on finding the relationship that I want. So I was just open, meeting different people, and so I was like,
was this like a singles face group thing? Like, how did you see her, Coach?
No. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
You asking me?
Yeah, because she got the friend request, but how did you see her to send the friend request?
Well, so similar to what she was saying, like, I was like, okay, I'm ready to find, like, I'm ready to be with somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm actually ready to find somebody to spend the rest of my life with. And I have said that probably like maybe a year or two before. I ran into some snags.
Right.
But so one day I was just scrolling through Instagram, and I saw a picture of some young ladies, and one particular young lady caught my eye, and I was like, dang, that's gonna be my woman.
He did say that, Coach Lulu, in my interview that I had previous. He said the minute he saw you, he knew that you were going to be his wife.
Yeah,
that's crazy, right?
So I tried to find her, because they didn't have any way for me to, like, it wasn't a hashtag.
Yeah,
it was what is the thing called?
The app.
Yeah,
no, I think it was a hashtag.
It was a hashtag. It wasn't
right.
Right.
Damn, he had to stalk you.
I had to, do some light stalking,
Yeah.
So, because I couldn't find her, and I was like, dang, I gotta find who this woman is. So I couldn't find her on Instagram because she didn't have the app.
Right.
It was just a hashtag Lulu. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, that's cool. Then I was like, I can't find it on here. So I went on Google and I looked her up. I looked up Lulu. And so I ended up finding her like work stuff. Like she had like a profile with her work stuff on there. I was like, dang, I don't want to have to call this woman at work or try to whatever. So I'm not going.
He probably would have did that too.
I mean, that was gonna be my last.
I think he would have.
That was gonna be my last effort. Like that was gonna be like the last ditch effort. Like, hey, I want to make an appointment.
I hear that. I hear that, Coach.
I'm sorry, I couldn't make it. So because she's already in Canada, so I would have to book an appointment just to cancel and have a conversation with her. But so anyway, I ended up finding her on Facebook, and I was like, dang, I'm just gonna like I'm gonna observe, and then I'm gonna sit back for a second, and then just kind of see. Like get to know her, make sure everything checks out before I actually like.
Absolutely, because you see beautiful women like Coachelulu, right? And you think like, oh my goodness, and then some women they'll look like her. As soon as they open their mouth, you're like, never mind, because you don't know how she behaves. You just see her picture, but thank God it matched. You know what I mean? Like,
and the lifestyle. Like I wanted a woman that was free of clutter, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that's cool. But she ended up hitting me up. So she like reached out to me. So
let me ask. Yeah, so let me switch it over to you, Coach Lulu. So he got, he sent you the friend request. You let it chill there for a little while. What made you like reach out to him? Were you just curious about why this like random guy was sending you a friend request from like America? Like United States, another part of the US? Like, how did you?
Yeah, it was just like I said, I had about a month prior. I was just like, okay, I'm ready to find my person or be in a great relationship. Like I wanted, to finally have that. I was just tired of what I was experiencing prior. So I was just open, and at first I was like, I don't know, like who is this person? We had no, like, how on
mutual friends,
have mutual friends, like zero. So I'm like, how did you even find me? But then I started looking through the picture.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I was like, yeah, I can say hi.
That's awesome. And if you don't mind me asking, because I asked this to Coach too, like, what was your prior dating life like? Was it just like, how were your relationships prior to Coach or Anthony? Like, how was he different?
It was, oh my gosh, prior to him, it was a mess. It was just a lot of gray space. Ended up being like one of many, like it never established relationships, always now the term is situationships. It was just like always kind of floating in this limbo type area. So prior to him, like one established relationship, there was one, like my first one, but and then it was just a whole bunch of like confusion.
Right.
Which why I got so fed up with. I was like, I'm tired of this. And so I just finally was like, and I approached it prior to him. I was more so approaching it very passively, just kind of like waiting for them to come to me, and just kind of like I never proactively went out there to like look for someone. It was more so like someone mentions they like you, and so it's like, okay, like let me get to know you about, and or this, like, you know what I'm saying? So I realized that I was doing that, and I was like, no, I need to kind of put myself in the driver's seat and actually direct where I want this to go and what I'm actually looking for. And then
put it all together.
When did you guys realize that each other was like the one for you? I mean, I know Coach said he knew when he saw you, and I go ahead.
Nah, it was like that, but that's what I was saying. Like I had that approach didn't work for me before, because I, like, as men, if you're a man, that gets you in trouble a lot, right? That feeling, that chase it's not even a chase thing. It's like you have to pursue it. You have to, like, it's something that just gnaws at you. And women really don't understand this, because like the way it works in a man's mind, it's just like there's a flat, and then there's something that like upticks, and then you like, dang, this is different. So then you find yourself going, like you find yourself giving a little bit more attention to it. So
right.
yeah, so for me, I was like, I ain't gonna do it that way. I'm gonna sit back because that usually gets me in trouble. I'm gonna kind of relax back, even though I want her to be my woman. I'm interested in learning more. That don't mean I just give that away because that's
Yeah, you don't want to be thirsty. You just want it to be
it
like,
wasn't even about thirst because I could have did it that way, but it was more so about like I don't want to set myself up for failure in a relationship.
yeah,
I don't want just because she's attractive or because I like her or because I'm interested in her to be the thing that blinds me to seeing the truth about who she is and what we can be.
yeah.
And so that's
key.
that's so key because that's what I had to work against. I had to work against myself.
Yeah.
And we get into like when it comes, that's why we like to focus on dating because it's not about the other person. It's usually about our individual selves because even if you're married, you're still dating.
Yeah.
Because it can end at any moment. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So it really starts with the individual self and understanding what kind of gets you in trouble and what kind of like what are you looking for, why you're looking for, why is it important for you. Once you understand that, then now engaging was the easy part.
Right.
Me letting her know, okay, like in the beginning, just establishing rapport. Like we just getting to know one another.
Right.
Okay, what you from there? What is it like there? Laughing, ha ha ha.
Right.
But then, like most relationships, you hit like this kind of fork in the road.
Yeah.
Where it's like, even if you're not in a relationship, you're kind of still doing like you're moving towards that.
Yeah.
You're talking every day. You're expecting to hear from each other, and so it kind of moves into that.
Right.
The thing that made me, I guess the thing is like I put it out there like this is it.
Right.
This is like if you're gonna choose to go that way, then you can count me out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's not what I'm on right now. Like I'm not interested in going out and partying and hanging out. Like that's
I see. Right.
Me. But if that's what you want to do, that's fine. That's fine. Like I wish you the best.
Right. Right.
And so I think that was the thing that kind of made it like speed up a little bit more is because I had a hard boundary in place. So it's like the boundaries are they're super important for establishing a real healthy relationship. And the more relationship develops, the more boundaries have to be in place, right? So people think that boundaries are a bad thing, but boundaries are the thing that protects the relationship, but it also protects the feeling of the two people.
Yeah.
Right? So now if we play within each other's boundaries, you're gonna get the best from me, and I'm gonna get the best from you. So
that's all. Yeah. It's discipline. It's it's holding yourself up. It goes into disciplining, holding yourself, because putting boundaries in a relationship is a form of discipline and self-love, in my opinion, and putting those in place and kind of I guess you can say like guiding where the relationship is going to go kind of gives you a clear path on if you want to go there together. And it seemed like the cards aligned because Coach Lulu was like done with all of the previous, BS that she was dealing with men. You were in a place. So mentally, you guys were both in a place where you both wanted the same thing. You know what I mean? And then it kind of like, it's funny because I heard her say in her mind, she was usually the laid back one and something told her to be in the driver's seat. And in your mind, you were usually the driver, but you wanted to lay back this time. So it kind of worked out perfect because something pushed her and something told you to chill. So it kind of like worked. You know what I mean? I like that. That's super cool.
That's a good observation.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because she said, she was like, something told me I got to get in the driver's seat and say something. And it worked out perfect because you were chilling, waiting for her to say something. So
I be telling women that all the time, like, right? Like, it's okay for you to be in that position for your life because this is your life, right? It's okay for you to reach out and show interest in somebody because you get so much more information faster as opposed to waiting for him. Now he has the upper hand to do whatever and position you however he wants to position you and make you think one thing when it's another. But in reality, like it's okay for you to inquire about something you're interested in. You do that with stuff you interested in anyway.
Exactly.
You're able to make a better decision. Like, okay, you need a dress or you need something, so you go online and you look for it. Okay, then you go and read the reviews. You go and learn the information.
Right.
And then you make the investment after it checks all the boxes. But a lot of women get themselves in trouble because they wait for the person to choose them or at least interact with them.
Right.
Like at least interact so I can know what I'm up against before I invest in it.
Yeah, because society tells women, you listen to all these rooms on Clubhouse and people get confused because 1 minute women hear you shouldn't be the assertive one, or you shouldn't go after the man. You're the prize. You have to wait for him to come to you. And then other people will tell them something else. So that's kind of like from what you guys are saying, you have to tailor it to what it is that you want.
That's the thing. Just because a man goes after you doesn't mean you're the prize,
right?
Because a lot of guys do that anyway and do it for 50.
Yes,
I was dealing with 60-some women at one time. Like
yeah,
within I counted. I was like, dang it, like I'm really out here in these streets busy.
Yeah,
this was like years before my wife. And
right.
I was like, dang, let me see how many women. Like it was like that part was easy because of that. Because of that way of thinking, that's the setup, right?
Right.
That's the setup. So I got something that you want, you got something that I want, and if I just because, and this is one thing, I promise you, I'll be more quiet. But this is one thing we tell women: just because he's consistently giving you attention doesn't mean he's going to be consistent with his intentions, right? Just because attention doesn't necessarily equate to priority. Like it doesn't mean you're important. It doesn't even mean that he's genuinely interested.
Woo!
Sometimes
that's deep.
Yeah, because sometimes we're just doing it because we've been doing it. Meaning that if I interacted with you and I was interested at one time, I may not even be interested anymore. But I'm gonna keep doing it because I've already done it. Like
because you could get away with it.
Well, I've already warmed you up.
Right.
So I'm just gonna linger around. Wait for your ovaries to start messing with you and wait for that phone call.
You on point, Coach R. Anthony.
Oh, I know.
Listen, wake that up. Wake it up. Seriously.
And that is why we are excited for the dating challenge.
Yes.
Insight. That's what the kind of insight we're going to try to kind of wake the women up to.
Yes.
To realize this is what's actually going on, or this is what even the type of messaging that you're sending without even knowing what you're doing.
Yes, exactly.
So to just kind of help to restructure things so that you get better results in your DMs.
I'm telling you, I can't wait because what I see for you guys is I see this challenge. I see you guys going so far, actually having this challenge, to sell, everybody in the world doing this, you guys speaking. I don't know if I told this to Coach R. Anthony, actually the podcast and the challenges you have and the advice that you have, because you guys are going to get so big that you're not going to be able to keep up with all your clients. You're going to have to put this on a CD, a DVD or something, and people are just going to have to buy this and do the challenge and do the work and everything, because this stuff is good stuff. Mm-hmm. This is, y'all better get to them now before they blow the F up. Listen, y'all better get to them down. I'm telling you, you guys got some good insight, and people need to hear it. And that's why I believe in what you guys are doing so much. So Coach Lulu, just for the people that don't know, how did you guys get into couple coaching and couple counseling and that whole, aspect?
Yeah. So it's interesting, as we learned about just ourselves, before meeting one another, we were both people within our circles that our friends or family members will come to us for advice, of just insights and stuff like that. So that's kind of always been a part of each of our lives, and how people, I guess, saw us or came for support and stuff. And so then we come together. Obviously we have mutual interests, learning about just people and just that personal development thing, we both really connected on and started doing that together as well. Then being faced with underlying things you don't realize are there when you're people that in a beautiful way relationships really bring to the surface and highlight all of the stuff we had to work through together as a team to overcome certain fears each person had, or certain just ways of living that we kind of had to shed from like single life to now working together and building a life with one another.
Yeah, that's an adjustment.
Yeah, and so that was like a really intense merging period for us, and then coming out of that as well, realizing like all of the things we learned, and then similarly now that we're together, now we're seeing couples as well just kind of naturally ask us about things, or we find ourselves giving more insights as well when it comes to couples. So it just kind of started gradually like that, and then it was similar like how you were saying, people, or we realized like we have to start putting this down, like recording it or documenting it in some way.
Yeah.
So then we started the couples coaching, working with some married couples. And then we started realizing as we were working with the married couples, like if we can get to them early on, this would be super helpful. And then that's how it got into, okay, let's start working with the women, because they were, at least in our circle or in our environment, they were the ones like this constantly asking or constantly seeking out information. So we're like, okay, let's start with the women. And then that came to Date Like a Wife. And then now, like how my husband said, soon we'll be finally getting to the men. And so hopefully we can kind of merge the two and do that.
I love
but that's
that.
how it kind of came to be, just like sharing our insights from what we experienced, what we overcame. And then realizing like, okay, we need to document this. We need to
absolutely.
Yeah. So it was very organic.
Have you guys ever thought about doing a book, like a book and then an audio book, like down the line? How long have y'all been together?
We got married in 2014.
Yep. So
almost 10 years.
Our 8-year anniversary, and been together 9.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
My husband has a book. My husband has a husband material guide and the audio as well. But together, eventually,
we got courses. We have courses and stuff.
I love that. The reason why I asked that is I don't know if you guys know DJ Envy and his wife Gia. They just came out. Yeah, they just came out with a book recently, and they've been on this like promotion. So it kind of they've been together. They were like high school sweethearts. I think they are like 23 years or 20, and they've been through a lot. And, DJ Envy was this DJ. He is a DJ, and he does the Breakfast Club, and they went through this whole infidelity phase, and they kind of put all their stuff out there and kind of just put it out in a book. So I was like, that's what made me think of you guys, being together almost 10 years, helping people already. That would be dope to do like a couple's book, maybe down the line. It's like a little,
we thought about it.
We definitely.
I would buy it. I'm definitely on that.
Yeah, I think that would be. Yeah, I think we almost have to at a certain point.
At a certain point, yeah. But
absolutely.
we mainly just been like getting everything packed down, because like we said, we kind of deal with couples and singles, ideally, because we want to help the singles have a good starting point for the kind of relationship. But then with the couples, we got to kind of like go through and sift through like all the things they would have to do as singles anyway.
Yes,
so we have to actually make them single and to bring them together.
Yeah, you got to break them down to build the relationship back up. Yeah. So let me ask you guys a question. Either one of you guys can answer. What would you guys say is the number one problem that keeps coming up for couples in coaching when you guys are coaching the couples, or it could be single people? What do you feel like is the constant, like, reoccurring thing, if that makes sense?
Collectively, I say fear.
I would say that too. For me personally, yeah, definitely that. What about you, Coach Lulu?
Yeah, ultimately it would boil down to fear. The first thing that came to my mind was essentially like forgetting y'all are on the same side.
That too.
There's a habit of it always ends up being like them versus the other person.
Yes.
And forgetting like y'all are actually there to work together. But when you boil it down, it does stem to different fears that each person has.
So you guys got to work with the people in their fears, basically.
But they got to work with their fears. We just have to point to it.
Right. And they have to work. They have to do the shadow work. That's a lot.
They have to be willing. Like they have to know that their fear is actually keeping them from the thing that they want.
Woo! It's true, guys. It's so true. That's definitely. What advice? I mean, you don't have to tell us like the whole blueprint of what's in your 7-day thing, but what advice would you give to couples before they marry?
Go through the challenge.
I know that, but like if there's just something you can like say, like maybe one thing or two things.
Yeah, I can, or you can go.
You guys could both go. Either one of you guys could go first.
Honesty, like just everything has to be out on the table.
Mm-hmm.
It has to,
right.
Like completely.
No secrets.
Zero secrets.
If you in debt, you better tell them. If you like, all that stuff got to be out there. That's what you mean, right?
Yeah.
Forget just that. I mean, everything. Like you got to go over everything with a fine-tooth comb, because whatever is there before is what's going to be amplified in marriage. Mm-hmm. So marriage is just like a microscope, and it actually like amplifies what you marry. Like whatever you are before is what you marry and merge together. It's just a merging process. That's all marriage is. It's the most amplifying marriage process. It's like the pro version. Like this is the professionals. This is where the professionals play. And so it highlights a lot of things that we had to work on. Like for ourselves, we had to work on a lot of things individually, and we got most of it out before we were married. But like it's always a progress of learning new things about yourself. But the most important thing that you have to do is, like my wife says, make sure that you're on the same page. Like, and we call that the relationship vision. Like, so
yes,
we help come up with the vision for the relationship, and that's like how you guys are going to, how it looks for the both of y'all. Like, how do you want to be with one another? Right? So we start off with the vision, then we start off with the vision, then we go into mapping the relationship. We go into creeds. We go into like all these different things that are designed to help the marriage stay concise with one another, right? But without a vision, the couples usually end up falling apart.
Yeah, this is real stuff, y'all. In order to succeed and have a relationship like Coach R. Anthony and Coach Lulu, you got to do these things. All right, so I'm going to talk to you guys about a couple of hot topics that some of these things I think personally are ignorant, but people talk about it. So let's just go into it right now. As you guys know, Kevin Samuels has passed away. So, rest in peace to Kevin Samuels. Didn't want to see him gone. However, he called himself, I guess, a relationship coach or some type of coaching for relationships. Can we get your take, both of you guys, and either one could go first? Can we break down this high value man and high value woman? Do you guys agree with that, of what Kevin Samuels says about this high value man and high value woman, and the only way you're going to get that is if you make X amount of money, or if you're a size 2? Like,
well, I will say I agree with the premise, because it's just hypergamy, but it don't equate to the success of a relationship, because you got people who have all of those things, all those attributes, but they suck at relationships. They're low value in relationships.
That's what I think that Kevin Samuels, when he was alive, lacked short on. It's the what after. Like, he always focused on, you have to make X amount of money to be a high value man, or you have to be a size 2 as a woman to be a high value woman. And then what? Okay, so now what? It's just the superficiality of it all.
So I'll say this, like, I think people get in a tizzy about something that ain't really relevant. Like, do you want what he's presenting? If you don't want it, then go look for what you want. Like,
right.
That simple. Like, if one store don't have what you're looking for, why are you going to stay in there and complain about the fact that they don't have the stuff you're looking for? You're just gonna go somewhere else and find what you're looking for.
Right.
This is where people get messed up when it comes. They do everything completely different and succeed in those areas, but when it comes to relationships, they do it completely opposite and actually wonder why they having the same problems over and over again.
Right.
So that's why, if you don't like Kevin Samuel's rhetoric, why listen to him? Go and find what you are looking for and study that, because whatever you study is what you're gonna manifest. That's what you manifest in your life. And so for me, it's not us. It's not either way. It's like, I mean, people. It's true for him. It's true it's true for him. And I learned this from my mentor. He said that everybody that you don't agree with is not wrong about everything, and they're not right about everything.
Right.
And you're not
right
about everything, and you're not wrong about everything. So there are some things that even though you disagree with them, they are right about, right?
In their head, right? In their
they could be right about it, period. Like, just because it's not right for you and you want it to be something different, for their reality, that's what exists. But that's what I'm saying, like, that's why I use the store as an example. It's like, yeah, you can go to a store that ain't got what you want and stay in there and complain about it, or you can go to the store and say, you know what, I'm looking for this, so I'm gonna go find what I'm looking for.
Yeah. And unfortunately, people don't think like that. You know, they just feel like, you know, they soak up what they hear. What about you, Coach Lulu? Did you pay attention to anything that Kevin Samuel said? I'm sure you heard like the hot takes.
Yeah,
what do you think?
I've seen a couple of videos, and I'm like, I mean, like, if that's what you're on, like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Again, more so in like a hypergamy standpoint, where it's like social status, and we've definitely observed that, where there's just things that are more desirable when it comes to financial, like where you are financially or where you are physically and stuff like that's out there. And then also too, I'm sure there's aspects in that world where people are like, okay, yeah, I do have those things, but I'm actually more so looking for like maybe someone who does have a really high like social status and a lot of money, is like, okay, I've kind of been there, done that with people who just kind of look the part, but I'm actually more so focused on, you know, between the ears, what somebody brings to the table and like the connection. So it's, I mean, I get it, and I get how like going in the extreme in one direction attracts, like, you know, an audience.
Yeah.
Well, that's why, like, even with what my husband's saying, it's like what the things he was talking about, it's like that is a reality, but it's not my reality.
Right.
So it's like deciding for yourself, is that what you're looking for, or is like what aspects. Yeah. So I'll say it like this. Like, people need to realize this whole like dating thing, relationship thing, you get to tailor it to however you want it to be.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be this box over here, this box over here. If financial stability and stuff needs to be just a part of something that you need to feel comfortable and safe, okay, include that in there. As then also that, like, the internal connection and the quality of the relationship, okay, great, include that in there. Is health important to you? Maybe it's not. It's not important to everybody. So like so it's kind of weird.
Come to date like a wife and you'll learn all this stuff. But I mean,
I just wanted to get you guys' take on it, because my take is almost like, you know, people are only going to be able to give you advice based on their POV, based on what's in their head, right? So if you're coming to so for Kevin Samuels to say to someone, if you're plus size, you're never going to find a man of a certain stature. No, you're never going to find that person, because that's what's in your mind. Like they always say, like, for me, if I have a problem, you know, Joyce Meyer, I love her. She always says, don't go to the phone, go to the throne, go to God, right? Because God is going to tell you what's right for you, and you know what's right for you, right? So in Kevin Samuel's POV, if you're over a $120, if if your weight is over X amount, you're never going to find a man. Like, this is what he would say. You're not going to, you know, you don't qualify to have this caliber of man. No, in your mind, she doesn't qualify to have this type of man. Or if he would tell a guy, okay, if you don't make X amount of money, you don't qualify to have this type of woman. No, that's your POV. That's in your tiny little mind. So I would just caution people on what they listen to, because people are only going to be able to give you advice based on their POV. So maybe in his mind, that's the truth, but it doesn't mean that that's what's the truth for everyone, because I've seen so many wage gap relationships. Like I've seen a man who is like a multimillionaire find a wife straight out of the kitchen of his job, like plucked her right out. She was like, hair net, getting dirty every day, working in the kitchen. That's a huge wage gap, or I've seen, plus size women get into great relationships. So I've seen men that are mechanics get into relationships with a woman who is super rich. Like you see those things. So like, I just never really agreed with his, but also I'm about uplifting, empowering and inspiring people. And I just felt like with him, it was like, if it wasn't his way, these are like the parameters, the borders, you have to fit into this box. You're never going to find this, at a husband or a wife unless you're here. And so you shouldn't even be asking me because, you're not a 10, you're a 6. Like he was kind of like,
the thing though. That's the thing. A lot of guys resonated with his message though. So like, that's why I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Like, but if you're affected by that type of rhetoric, then it's going to affect you. It's going to confirm your suspicion, right? It's going to make you say, dang, maybe it is my weight, or maybe that's the reason why, or maybe, I'm not attractive enough, or maybe I don't this. So it's going to appeal to, but that's why like the way we teach it is so different, because whatever pulls you emotionally is tugging on something within yourself that you already believe. Mm-hmm. And the voice is just the outside expression of something that's internally whispering. Mm-hmm. Right. So that's why he represents, for a lot of women, the internal voice that they have or might have, or might think that men think like this. But it is a demographic, because men don't have any other option. When it like, that's why like we're working on Date Like a Husband, because men don't really have much options on how to know how to choose a wife, right, or a woman. So they end up choosing the wrong woman and getting hurt, and now their whole life is based on the hurt that they've experienced. And it don't have to be a woman that they chose; it can be from their mom's hurt. Right. Hurt, it has transferred over to them. So it's like there's a lot more to relationships than just what Kevin Samuels was like kindergarten stuff to what we teach.
Yes. That's why it's so important to have you guys on here, and I'm giving people another outlet that they can go to listen to something that's more on, I would say, my mind level and other people, because like I said, when I intake that, to me, there's a lot of ignorance there, and a lot of people are paying attention to that. But I want to kind of like shift some people to like focus on what you guys teach in the mind frame, because, that's what's popular right now. I think Coach Lulu was saying, you find a lane and you keep going that way because that's what's gravitating people. And I think with Kevin Samuels, he got a viral moment from it. So he just kept driving in that direction. And it's kind of like, now that he's not here and all his stuff is like documented on video, there is a large group of people that listen to him and feel like they have to put themselves in these parameters in order to, have a successful relationship. And I know by talking to you guys that that's not true, so I wanted to ask you guys about that. Just a few more questions before we go into this game real quick. I want to ask you, well, I'll ask Coach Lulu and then you can answer too, Coach R. Anthony. Do you think women are too aggressive nowadays, Coach Lulu?
Too aggressive?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Not at all. How do you mean aggressive?
Well, sometimes I hear, and I could only go by like the clubhouse conversations and the relationship groups, they'll say like, women, they make, and look, this is just me. This is not how I think. I'm just asking general things that maybe some people that are watching might have a question. This is not how I necessarily think. They'll say, okay, the wage gaps are closing. Women are making more money now. They don't need a man, or, they just, they're too, I guess you can say, they're like taking over the man's role. They're the ones that are, I guess you can say hunting the man or like going after the man, and they're not submissive enough and feminine enough, and just different things. Like I don't know if you've heard that before in different, conversations. Do you feel like women, do you feel like that's an issue for women? Is that like hurting their relationships or maybe hurting themselves from getting a man?
I think, and going back to the fear thing, I think what's happening is just a fear driven thing mixed with also to what we're taught. Like I know even like before meeting my husband, the thing that's taught or what was kind of impressed upon me was you check all the boxes. You well traveled,
right?
You, get a good or high paying job, good social life, like you kind of live in the dream. And then as you go through that process, the byproduct is, okay, now a man's supposed to
miraculously show
yeah,
up.
they just kind of that comes with the package. It's a byproduct of that whole package that we're taught to kind of really focus in on. But what happens through that process is, so it's like by thinking of relationships being a byproduct of like these things that you have to do like independently, it never really teaches us how to like, I initially wanted to say like build a life with someone, because
let someone else in,
kind of do everything first, and then now this person's supposed to appear. And so I think there's just like a misalignment thing, or just something's kind of being a bit off with that type of setup.
Yes.
But now it's, the narrative of always like, don't depend on a man, or if he needs, you're going to be left with nothing. So it's like now this thing that's being incorporated of trying to protect what you've built.
Yes. Wake that up, Coach Lulu. Yep.
So it's like that fear of that, when someone like messing that up and wanting to hold on to what they've done by themselves, and not being open to like someone coming in and either helping them, or they don't even know how to receive help. So there's like so many other layers. I don't look at it as like aggressive. I think it's just
protective.
They're just kind of protecting themselves. They don't like, we just don't know how to do anything else in that regard.
That's so key what you said, and I hope the men are really listening to that, because I said this to Coach R. Anthony verbatim. Remember when we had the one-on-one session and I was saying things to you exactly what Coach Lulu is saying? That's the exact thing I said. No man is going to come and take away what I built. Like literally everything you said, that's how I was feeling. And a lot of men take that as she's aggressive. She's like, this or she's that, but it's more so just like being protective. And I think a lot of women are there right now.
That's, I mean, for me, that's where the men, because I've never had a woman like that. Like every woman that I've dealt with in any deeper capacity were always willing to give what, like willing to trust what I have. In terms of,
you're lucky.
No, I'm not lucky. You know what I'm saying? Like,
really? You don't think that?
No, it's not luck. It's like, because I understand. First of all, I understand myself. I understand myself as a man. Most men have not touched into like who they are. Like the emotions. Like men are supposed to be more emotional than women. And by emotional, I don't mean crying and sad.
Yeah.
I mean mastering your emotions and
right.
understanding what they're telling you and what you're feeling and why you're feeling that way. Right? Because it's a spiritual thing. Emotions are a very spiritual concept, right? And if you don't understand them, if you suppress them, then you suppress yourself.
Yeah.
So once I tapped into that, it wasn't no problem to understand why she felt that way, because I know in the back of her mind she don't trust, because she hasn't been told how to trust.
Yeah, but I think what I meant by not that you're lucky, but that you didn't have to crack that code, because what Coach Lulu was just explaining, it doesn't necessarily mean she's like that, but she was speaking for a large group of women who are.
Yeah, but that's. But
I see what you're saying. You have the tools.
Yeah, you got to have the tools. That's by default. That's when that would be anybody. That's what we talk about, the fear. That's by default. Everybody wants to protect themselves. Like
Mm-hmm.
they want to protect their stuff. They want to protect themselves from being
Yeah.
hurt. Like that's automatic. But that's where you have to understand how
to disarm that.
How to build a relationship.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
relationship,
Absolutely.
A relationship is simply how two or more things relate to one another.
Right.
So I had to relate to. If you learn how to relate to, like understanding, like I give a perfect example. Understanding the relationship dynamic between my wife and her mom. Once I understood that dynamic, I knew what I was up against, and I knew what needed to be done. Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like if I am interested in you, I take an interest in your life, because if I want to involve myself and have you involved in my life,
right,
I need to understand what I'm up against.
Right.
Before I make that decision. And you need to understand as well. Right.
Yeah.
That's the purpose. And when we got to that point, Angie, that's when it was like, we might as well get married.
Yeah.
Because like we understand more about one another than anybody else on this earth. Like I get you. I know how you work. I know why you make decisions. I know why you saying certain things. You get me. You know why I'm saying things. You know how I work. And it's like we already married mentally.
Right.
We're already married emotionally.
Right.
We might as well just finish it off with the physical actual marriage.
The union. Exactly. Absolutely. So on the flip side, I think women have the stereotype of being like too aggressive nowadays. I think Coach Lulu kind of explained like where that comes from. The other stereotype for men, what do you say to the people that say men lack leadership nowadays? What do you feel is behind that? Because they'll say, oh, women are too aggressive and men lack leadership. Like, how do you feel when you hear stuff like that in the relationship rooms?
It goes back to what I just said. Like, how can I be a leader if women are emotional, men are rational? How can I lead you into something I don't know?
Right, I hear you. Right,
my emotions first before I can lead you through your own emotions.
Right,
through my emotional process. If you're the more emotional being, in order for me to lead you, I have to be exceptionally great at going through my emotions. Then you'll trust, like, oh, okay. Like every time I feel this way, I talk to you, I feel a totally different way. I feel so much better, so much more relieved. So because I had to do that for myself, of course, I can help you.
Yeah.
And I can lead you through it. So it starts with that first, like the emotional transformation. Then everything else kind of follows, because you guys can work together on anything, because the most important thing you can do is make somebody feel something.
Mm-hmm.
You make somebody feel like Kevin Samuel. You still talk. This man he passed away however long ago. You still, like, people are still talking about him because of how he made you feel, right? And on the flip side of that, if a person can make you feel a different way, then guess what? You attribute the feelings that person conjures up in you to them. So if it's upset, you attribute that to them. If they make you feel great, you're gonna be like, dang, that person is bomb.
Right.
Like
without giving away your secrets, what is one thing that a piece of advice that you can give a man to, I guess, get control of, like, master his emotions or begin to try to start the process of learning himself or working on himself?
I would say he has to start with the thing that hurts the most.
Y'all hear that?
Start with the thing that hurts you the most or has hurt you the most, whether that's your relationship with your mom, relationship with your dad, relationship with an ex, relationship with, your, like, the thing that hurts you the most, you have to go in it, because the obstacle is the way. You go into it and you see what feelings come out of it. Like, why do I feel this way? And then why do I feel that way? And then why is that the feeling that I feel now? So, like, you just follow the trail of feelings to get to a place where you understand.
A lot of y'all gonna try to skip this, but I'm gonna clip this and put this out. That little piece of information. Y'all better not try to skip these things. But listen, before we get into this game, I want y'all to tell me we're in like the first quarter of 2020 or the first half of 2022. What are you guys looking forward to for the rest of the year and to end the year out? If you want to go over some of the things that you guys have going on before we get into this game, what are you guys looking forward to in 2022? We'll start with you, Coach Lulu.
I'm honestly really excited about this dating challenge because it'll help a lot. It'll help a lot. So because it's like, and we have like more in-depth courses and stuff as well available. But I think this will be great for a lot of where the masses, like for women, like where they're at right now in just like the basics, like ABC 1, 2, 3. Like we're gonna go over like the pictures. We're gonna go over your bio. We're gonna go over like how things are perceived and like how they're internalized or how they come off like to a man. And as y'all heard, my husband has quite the experience when he was in his single life.
So, that's real talk.
So I think that'll be great to just like give a good foundation of just how, just on a real basic level. Because I know sometimes when we talk, it's a lot about excuse me, a lot about like the psychology and belief systems, and which are definitely needed. But I think this is like a really, really good first step,
entry level type thing.
So I'm excited to be able to help those who've been listening to us, or those who are just getting introduced to us. It's just something of like where to start.
I love that.
To just help that out. I'm really excited for it.
And they could register and what have you guys started this already? How can they go to datelikeawife.com and apply for this?
The registration starts next week for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the registration starts next week. Okay.
You'll have to get on our email list to get access to it. Like for right now, if you like, that'll be the first group that knows about it, our list, or you can join our Facebook group, Date Like a Wife Facebook group. And
okay.
Yeah, or
send me the link to that, Coach R. Anthony, and I'll put that in the description as well. If they go to Date Like a Wife, will they see the advertisement for this challenge that you guys have? Is it on there?
No, not yet. It won't be until next week. But
this interview comes out probably around the time that.
Okay, so yeah, you can go to Date Like a Wife and sign up for register for.
Okay, great. Awesome.
We'll make sure you get it too. It's really only by invite. We're not like just. It's really mainly that. Like,
tell them Angie sent you. Maybe.
Oh yeah, tell them Angie sent you.
Angie's World podcast sent y'all.
Angie's World list.
Yes, the Angie's World list. So you guys I'm excited about this too. I might have to enroll in this. Shoot, I need this too. Help me. Help my online persona.
I'm excited about the challenge. I mean, I'm like, we're like, this is different. Like, this challenge is different from what we've done before. Like, even we have a challenge that, like, if you're in a relationship and you're on the fence deciding whether or not, or if you're in a situationship, like if you're in a situationship and you're on the fence, like he's giving you enough for you to stay there, but not enough for you to like be secure in the relationship, knowing that it's going somewhere. It's good for that as well. Like, you'll learn the things that you can do, the things that you can ask to extract information to know whether or not you're being strung along. Because that's the thing. You don't want to waste time when the relationship that you're looking for is on the other side of what you're stuck in. You know what I'm saying? Like, the thing is, like, if I would have known that, I would have focused 1000% on like just making quick decisions. Like, it ain't no, like, I would have said I want to relate, like, because in all of my years of dealing with thousands of women, I would have went for what I have. I would have just went straight to it, because it's like, it's so much more beneficial than just wasting time with just to do the casual dating thing. So the challenges are designed to get you through these stages a lot faster, whether you're with somebody, dealing with somebody, or you're single and ready for that. Like, you don't waste time, but you got to have a process. That's what we're going to be teaching. Process how to go from where you are to positioning yourself to where you get the relationship, and you'll know for a fact, like, dang, this feels different. It feels refreshing.
I love that.
I mean, it's totally different when you start thinking like that. And men pick up on energy. That's a whole nother thing. I don't want to go into that, but men pick up on your energy.
Yeah, listen, you guys got a lot going on. So make sure y'all tap into datelikeawife.com. that's going to be in the description. Their Instagrams are going to be in the description. Their Facebook groups are going to be in the description. Relationships and Chill podcast. Are you guys still doing that, or are you guys
It's
like okay?
We haven't been active with it, but it is still up. Like,
Are you guys going to rebrand it and like come out with new stuff with that?
Yeah, we will eventually transfer it over to more marriage stuff because that's like the next tier. The next tier
Awesome.
for us is teaching like marriage, and that kind of covers everybody. Like if you want to be married, we want to be the people that you come to for a successful marriage.
I definitely am. Matthew from the Real Relationship Talk, shout out to him. He's also a numerologist. Supposedly June 5th is when I'm supposed to be. This is supposed to be my month to find. He said June 5th was sticking out to him. Supposed to be finding something quality this month, so we'll see. I'll be coming to y'all real soon. Like, help me, guys. Is this real? Like, I don't know what's going on, but yeah. So make sure you guys tap into Date Like a Wife. I'm really excited to see what you guys do with the podcast too, because even though I'm not married, I would really, really enjoy a marriage podcast with you guys, doing weekly episodes and stuff. And then you guys are really active on Clubhouse as well. Let them know for people who are on Clubhouse, let them know what you guys are doing on Clubhouse and where to find you on Clubhouse as well. Either one of you guys can answer.
Oh, I'll go.
Yeah.
They have our Date Like a Wife club on there. Also, and then the Marriage Mastery club as well.
And that stuff is going to be in the
that's where we're kind of taking the Relationships and Chill. We'll go there, so it's more marriage focused and really in depth with that. And then so it's those two, Marriage Mastery and then Marriage Mastery Secrets and Date Like a Wife. And then, as my husband said, in the fall sometime we'll get the Date Like a Husband.
I can't wait for that. That's going to be in the description as well. I have all of their links, all of their clubs.
Yeah.
What you say, Coach?
I said we got a lot of stuff going on, but it's for a reason though, because again, like we like to segment where you are, because we ultimately we're for a successful marriage. Like if you want to get married, we're the people that you come to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the reason why I like that you guys are on different platforms is some people are more active on Facebook, so they might want to be in the Facebook group. Some people love to listen to podcasts, so you're there. Some people like to listen to live conversations on Clubhouse. Some people want to do the challenge. So it's a little bit of everything for everyone. So you guys are kind of covering all bases, but people listen to things on different platforms and their lifestyles, and stuff like that. So it's good that you guys are there. Now, I'm not going to keep you guys here all night. I always do like a little game with my guests before we get up out of here. So this is like a little relationship question game. Couple questions that I want to ask you guys. And then we'll be done with the interview. But I think this is cute to do with you guys. All right. So, okay. I'm going to ask both of you guys. What did the other person wear on your first date? We'll start with Coach Lulu. What did Coach R. Anthony wear on you guys' first date?
I don't know what you wore. I mean,
I know what you wore.
I know you know what I wore.
What did Coach R. Anthony wear?
Like the official one, because I picked you up from the airport.
Mm.
So when I picked you up from the airport, I think you had like a do-rag on, and then
do-rag.
I think so.
Well, this was 10 years ago, probably.
Yeah, this is 2013.
You have a hat. I feel like
maybe he did.
I probably had a hat on, but what was I wearing, woman? She'd ask you
it
about
was just casual clothes. Like I feel like it was like a sweater, like one of your zip ups. No. I don't know.
I don't remember what I was wearing.
I don't
to be
know.
honest. It was September. I remember the date.
Right.
Yeah.
So what did Coach Lulu have on for your first date?
She had on a dress. It was like gray, or I always thought it was brown, but it was gray.
Yeah.
I was colorblind by the beauty, you know what I'm saying? And the booty.
So that's a point for Coach R. Anthony.
Ding.
I'm gonna do a little point. All right, so we have Coach Lulu here. And we have Coach R. Anthony. Okay. So we got 1 point for Coach R. Anthony. All right. Next question. Well, you guys will probably both know this. Where did you go on your first date?
Oh, I know where we went.
We went to Boston Pizza.
Boston Pizza. It's a restaurant chain in Canada.
Aww.
Favorite place.
It's now his favorite place.
It's got some of the best. It's got the best pizza on earth for real. So if you're Canadian, you already know. So we both did.
Awesome. Okay. Describe what you first thought of them in one word. So Coach Lulu, you go first. Describe what you thought of Coach R. Anthony in one word.
First meeting him?
Yeah. What was your first thought of them? It doesn't even have to be when you first met him. It could be when you first got that friend request.
Oh, just very handsome.
One word, baby.
Okay, handsome.
Handsome. I like that. That's cute. What about you, Coach R. Anthony? Describe what your first thought of her was in one word.
Wife.
He did say that. Yes, wifey material. Who said I love you first? Aww. Who is the tidiest out of the two of you guys?
Wait.
Okay. Who's the tidiest?
The tidiest?
Yeah.
Oh, you said wait.
Wait.
She might think she is.
I feel like, I mean, we're tidy in different ways.
Yeah, we are. We both tidy. Like, 'cause certain things are important to me that are not important to her, and vice versa. So it works. It works out being perfectly joined together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't be
I
looking
feel
like
like, no, I'm remembering. I'm looking at you like, 'cause I'm remembering. We'll go in like ebbs and flows. Sometimes I don't want to do nothing. I'll leave stuff, whatever.
Right.
I get into that phase, and he's in a phase where he's like in cleaning mode or being.
Yeah.
So it kind of
Fluctuates.
I'm in that mood sometimes, but he's just like, I would just kind of leave stuff wherever.
Yeah.
So,
not wherever, but you know.
So y'all both tidy at just different times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
We make up for each other's lack of tidiness.
Yeah.
I love that. All right. Who is the funniest out of the two of you guys?
I know what you're gonna say. We're both very funny.
Don't be PC. Which one of y'all is the comedian?
He is.
Okay. But y'all both know how to be silly, I'm assuming. Y'all both fun.
Yeah.
But he's more of the comedian.
Funny.
When you said comedian, that's what got her.
Oh. He has a great sense of humor.
Yes. Which one of you is the better driver?
Oh, he is.
By far.
He is.
Not by far. Oh my goodness.
No, like by a lot. I was a truck driver, so
okay.
I've done over like 2 million miles. So
yeah.
By far.
Okay, so it is by far. Who is the better cook? Who's the better cook out of the two?
I am. I think I am.
Yes. I love that. Okay. What is your spouse's favorite TV show? Coach Lulu, you go first. What's Coach R. Anthony's favorite TV show?
Right now, I would say Survivor.
Survivor. And Coach Anthony, what's
Grace.
Great. I could see you playing in that too, Coach Lulu.
I could too, but I wouldn't want to because I don't want to ruin.
Mess it up.
I don't want to ruin my
like
Grey's Anatomy world. That's like.
Yeah. I can see that being her favorite.
If I'm in there, then it ruins the whole.
Right.
I don't want to see the set and stuff. No, I don't.
You want to see it through rose-colored glasses. You don't want to see,
exactly.
Yeah, be part of the fantasy. Okay. What is your pet name for Coach R. Anthony? And Coach R. Anthony, what's your pet name for Coach Lulu? One that you feel comfortable sharing. I'm sure you guys got a lot.
I call him Love.
Aww. Love. And what's your pet name for Coach Lulu?
I think it's just Baby.
Baby. If it's other names, you don't have to share that publicly.
Don't have like nothing like that.
I'm trying to think of different things you call me.
Hey, baby.
Yeah.
Baby.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Baby and Love. That's so
woman.
cute.
Yeah.
Woman. Come here,
Yeah,
woman.
woman.
Come here,
Make me a
woman.
sandwich, woman.
Make me a sandwich, woman. All right. What was the first movie that you saw together?
Planet of the Apes.
That's what I was thinking. I think
it
it was
was
Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes. Okay. Do you guys have a song? If so, what is it? Maybe it could have been your wedding song. Maybe it's a song that you guys.
Stevie Wonder's. I don't know. I can't think of it right now. That's my song for us.
Oh,
Overjoyed.
Oh yeah, we have a couple.
We have a
Stevie
couple
songs.
like Steve. We
The
have a
first
whole
one that came
Stevie
to my mind was
track.
the Donny Hathaway song.
Yeah, we got that one. We got a few. We got like a collection.
did you guys have a wedding song?
We have a soundtrack.
Oh, I love that. Y'all should make a playlist. Seriously, y'all should make a playlist on Spotify and send it to me, and I'll blast it out there, and then people could subscribe to the playlist. It'll be like the Coach, the marriage, date like a wife playlist or something like that. That would be dope. Yes. If you won the lottery, what's the first thing you would buy together?
Everything.
If you had to pick, what is the first thing, like you win the lottery, what's the first thing you guys are buying together? So it wouldn't be like bags of shoes or cars. Like what would you guys?
We buy a house. Buy another house. Yeah, we'll get a house, like a nice size, somewhere down in either somewhere on the coast.
That would be dope.
Yeah.
Speaking of houses, did you guys see Tyler Perry's new house that he's building in Atlanta?
I imagine
it is insane. It's like beyond. Like I'll send a picture to Coach Anthony. He can show you. Like I don't think I've ever seen anything like it in my life. Like beyond what I think Michael Jackson even had. I think it was bigger than that. Wow. Yeah, like crazy. Thank you guys so much for playing the game. I don't want to keep y'all here all night. I could talk to them all night, but they got to go. They're busy. They got courses to run, clubhouses to moderate. They got podcasts to do. I'm just so happy that you guys made the time to sit down and kick it with me. And have you guys together on my podcast. I was speaking with Coach Anthony for like weeks about having this day come to fruition. So thank you guys so much for stopping by. Make sure y'all check out Coach Anthony. Make sure y'all check out Coach Lulu. Also, guys, subscribe to the channel, www.youtube.com/Angie's World. Thank you to everybody that's tuning in from Facebook, from Twitter, also from YouTube. And if you guys are listening from Apple, Spotify, I had some truck drivers telling me that they love to listen to my podcast while they're on the road. So shout out to all my truck drivers.
Shout out to the truck drivers.
Yeah, shout out to the truck drivers. Thank you guys so much for listening. That's going to do it for us here. Once again, thank you to Coach Anthony and his beautiful, lovely wife, Coach Lulu. It was so nice meeting you, Coach Lulu. I can't wait until I have like a women's panel up here, and hopefully you can come back and join us. You guys are a friend to the show now. I can't wait for, the fall when you guys are launching your new website and everything that you guys have. Best of luck to you guys. I know it's going to blow up. And like I say to everybody, you could be anywhere in the world, but you decided to be in Angie's World. And for that, I love you. We out of here. Peace, y'all.